With everything that has gone on with Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes in their respective fields, with the situations that occurred last year, you would think that this would be a situation that it would cease, but it doesn't. But in this case, it takes a complete 180-degree turn when it comes to the story that I'm about to tell you. So in this picture, you see two people. On the left, you see a woman by the name of Janine Yorio. She is the CEO for this company called Every Realm. And on the right, you see a man by the name of Teyo Johnson, who used to play for the Oakland Raiders. Well, Teyo Johnson has basically come out and said that Janine was basically being racist, and she was urging him to sleep with coworkers. Yeah, that sounds like some plantation bug breaking type of stuff right there. The story goes, the CEO of a New York based metaverse company has been accused of sexually harassing a pair of African American subordinates, including a former NFL player who claims she subjected him to bizarre come-ons and prodded him to have sex with coworkers. Teyo Johnson, a former tight end for the Oakland Raiders, who also played ball as an undergraduate at Stanford University, claims Every Realm CEO Janine Yorio presided over a toxic work environment where she made lewd references about employees' sex lives, as well as racial slurs directed at black employees, including one remark threatening to quote-unquote trade Johnson if he didn't perform in his job. And we pretty much know what she meant by that. In a lawsuit filed in Manhattan federal court against Yorio and Every Realm, whose backers include the Silicon Valley venture the Andreessen Horowitz, and which has tapped celebrity endorsers including Paris Hilton, Will Smith, and The Weeknd, Johnson also alleges that he was pressured into quote-unquote sexually harassing games in which coworkers and clients were encouraged to sleep with each other. Now, keep in mind who she's connected to, because they basically told you who she's connected to. A lot of heavy hitters, people with a lot of money, and they made sure to throw that in there for a reason. In March, Johnson alleged that Yorio told him about a sex-related game that she encouraged employees to play during a business trip to the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas. KYP, which stands for Know Your Personnel, or KYC, Know Your Client, were euphemisms for having sex or hooking up with coworkers and business partners, according to the lawsuit. Yorio told Johnson that the way to pay the game was to get laid by a coworker on a business trip, the lawsuit alleges. She then allegedly asked him if he would be doing any KYP. Johnson was taken aback by Yorio's suggestion and politely informed her that he was already really close with someone, the lawsuit states. That same evening, Johnson alleged that Yorio was testing the waters with him after she came into his hotel room in Austin and insinuated in no uncertain terms that she believed he would cheat on his girlfriend to participate in the company's KYP game, the lawsuit alleges. Are y'all hearing this right now? This white woman right here, listen to what kind of fetishes and kinks she's into. But it makes you wonder what her home life looks like. She probably got one of them dungeons somewhere in her home. I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised. But she literally tried to get this man hemmed up in so many scenarios. Good thing he didn't go for either one of them, because this would have came back to bite him in the ass in a very unpleasant way. Johnson also alleged that Yorio made offensive jokes about his girlfriend's menstrual cycle and referred to him as a stupid black person and the whitest black person. Other slurs that Yorio is alleged to have hurled at Johnson include dick, big swinging dick, and fucking dick. Well, we see what's on her mind. Again, I'm curious, almost curious now to see what kind of stuff she got in her home. What other electrical appliances she got in her home. Elsewhere, William Kerr, the company's general counsel, once referred to celebrity hotel heiress Paris Hilton, an Every Realm investor who has been photographed with Yorio at prior events, as a night in Paris, the title of a revenge porn video that was leaked on the internet in 2004, according to the suit. Johnson, whose job required managing celebrity accounts including Hilton's, was horrified that in order to carry out his job duties, he was made to listen to the derogatory commentary and sexually harassing nickname from Kerr, the suit claims. The Post has sought comment from Hilton. Johnson claims he was fired after he blew the whistle on a cryptocurrency-based gambling scheme involving NFT or non-fungible token, playing cards of professional soccer players. According to Johnson, the scheme involved a cryptocurrency version of fantasy sports in which users would buy packs of NFTs representing professional soccer playing cards. Users would enter cryptocurrency into a pool and then win prize money if their NFT playing cards performed better than the other players' NFTs, according to the lawsuit. Johnson reasonably believed that the scheme would violate numerous New York and federal laws since randomizing the pack of cards would quality as a game of chance and thus be illegal. Johnson, who says his sports connections include an active business relationship with former NBA star Yao Ming, claimed that his proposal to forge a relationship between every realm and the NFL was intentionally sabotaged by Yorio and her executive team as revenge for blowing the whistle on the crypto scheme. After he reported his concerns to an executive, the NFT project was scrapped, and Yorio soured on Johnson, who eventually ended up in her quote-unquote doghouse, according to court papers. When reached by the Post, a spokesperson for every realm denied the allegations, calling them lies. As we stated in our court filings, this employee worked at the company for only 3 months and was terminated for poor performance, expense account abuse, and falling asleep on the job, the spokesperson said in a statement. See, that's very easy for them to say, and that's because it's a very dismissive way of doing it. Remember, I just did a video talking about that woman, Tiffany Guillory, who they just fired her because of a quote-unquote personnel matter, because that was too easy for them to say it instead of what it actually was, as well as the woman who was the town manager in North Carolina, how they just got rid of her because they said she was too difficult to work with. So for them to come out and say that he got relieved of his duties because of what they're claiming and not what most likely would be true, that's too easy for them to do. And remember, they said he was only there for 3 months. But based on what he's been talking about, you would have thought he was there for longer than 3 months. So if he was there for 3 months, it's amazing what happened to him or what he saw and heard in just those 3 months alone. Every realm also alleged in a legal filing that Johnson openly and routinely disparaged the mother of his child and demanded that every realm pay a portion of his wages in cash to avoid garnishment for child support payments. The company said that it refused Johnson's alleged demand. Johnson made various inappropriate comments in the workplace regarding other women in his life, hazed a junior female employee by disparaging her as a rookie and refusing to meet with her, and referred to Every Realm co-founder Julia Schwartz as that B and Mrs. Yorio as that crazy B, the company alleged in its filing. See, now it sounds like they just coming up with something just to say because they were being in hot water. I don't believe anything of what they're saying. I don't believe a thing of what they are saying. Every Realm, a metaverse technology infrastructure company, received $20 million in venture capital from Andreessen Horowitz. The Silicon Valley firm didn't respond to requests for comment. When reached for comment by the Post, Johnson attorney Shane Sepeny responded, Janine Yorio and her enablers at Every Realm's comments showed just how scared they are of the truth. Yorio faces similar accusations from another former black employee in a suit filed last week in Manhattan federal court. Gatsby Frimpong, who said he has done stints as a product manager at Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Cisco Systems, claims that he was paid far less at Every Realm than a white engineering director was offered for similar work, and that Yorio refused to consider him for promotion after he rejected her sexual advances. Yorio once told Frimpong during a meeting about engineering and product that it is important that he get the customer wet, just like he would with a woman, the suit claims. On another occasion, Yorio says she and her husband, Jesse Yorio, are only married in the metaverse, according to the suit. In Every Realm whatever that means, in Every Realm spokesperson told the Post these allegations are absurd. This former employee, Frimpong, worked remotely and Mrs. Yorio only interacted him with a few times on video calls. That's all it takes. They try to make it seem like just because she interacted him with just a couple of times, that it means nothing. It could mean a lot. We will defend against his false allegations. These lawsuits are filled with false allegations by former employees who are demanding multi-million-dollar settlements. The company spokesperson added, our company works hard to foster a supportive, inclusive workplace, and we will continue to defend against these lawsuits. A third former employee, Catherine Yost, age 46, who was director of Human Resources at Every Realm has also sued the company over discriminatory and illegal policies and acts, including sexually suggestive remarks about colleagues, love lives, and orientations by Yorio. So now it's like all of this stuff is like really, really starting to boil itself out, and all of the claims are pretty much the same ones. Yost, a former high school acquaintance of Yorio, also alleges that she confided in Yorio that she suffered from alcohol use disorder and hoped that Miss Yorio would be her ally and help deflect attention from the fact that Miss Yost does not drink at company gatherings. Nonetheless, that did not stop Yorio from allegedly using this highly personal and confidential information to taunt Miss Yost in front of employees by telling them at an event, "We need to get Kathy 6 drinks." When asked to respond to Yost's allegations, a spokesperson for Every Realm told the Post, "These are nothing more than baseless allegations from a disgruntled former employee seeking to cause harm to our company." Every Realm has filed its own legal actions against all three plaintiffs, seeking to take the complaints out of litigation and into arbitration. Every Realm has also accused the plaintiffs of pursuing an extortionate settlement demand of $1.9 billion. That was a lot right there. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to go beyond just these two right here, but then it started to seep into a second and then third person. This thing runs pretty deep, and I'm not surprised by anything that I just read. I'm willing to bet stuff like that happens in a lot of these workplaces, but a lot of people are scared of what could happen because, again, if you listen to the clientele, some of the clientele that they had and the people that helped them and fund them, they are in a pretty high position where they're almost untouchable. And that's the thing. When you give a lot of these organizations and these companies all types of power, it's going to go to their heads, especially the ones who are running it, and they are going to think they're going to be able to do whatever it is because they know no one's going to be able to touch them, or they could find a way to wiggle their way out of a situation when they know that the claims against them are indeed true. But that's wild right there. And like I said, when it comes to this man Teyo Johnson, I keep thinking about, what happened again with TJ Holmes. Did I say Teyo? Yeah, Teyo Johnson. When it comes to TJ Holmes and Ime Udoka, now what they did, that was they went and decided to do that on their own doing. That was on them. It is what it is. But based on what he said, if his accusations and his allegations are true, then this woman needs to be brought up on a few dozen ethics charges, and not just only for what she allegedly did with to him, but also to those other two employees that are filing complaints against her in this company as well. But again, like I said, when these companies are in these high positions and they got all this funding, it's very hard to really get to them because you're like literally the little fish in a big sea, and they own most of that big sea. So good luck to them. Hopefully they are successful in this. And I noticed that every time there was a rebuttal from the opposing side, I should say, a lot of their statements sounded exactly the same. So I would not be surprised again if their claims against this woman and this company, but specifically her, are indeed true. But this is why it's going to get to the point where some people are going to have to, when it comes to certain stuff like this, or when you feel like something is happening and it's starting to become a common occurrence, get yourself like some kind of hidden camera installed in a lapel or something. That way you can get it on camera. They can't deny it after that. But then again, this is America. There's a lot of stuff that has been caught on camera that they try to tell us that our eyes are deceiving us, and it's what we're not, and what we're watching is indeed not true. Look at what happened with Rodney King back in the early 90s. That man was beaten almost within an inch of his life by multiple terrorists on camera, and all of the charges against them got dropped. Now, one of them spent 1 day in jail, and that was back in the early 90s. So imagine how it would be today.